Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a new episode of Today's Youth. And today we're joined here at the studio by Abdurrahman Al Muwallad, the graduate of Informatics and Computer Science. Thank you very much for joining us, Abdurrahman.
It's my pleasure.
Abdurrahman, I will start with that. You were telling us about your education. Why did you choose informatics and computer science in specific as your major field of study?
In ثانوية عامة, everyone was wondering why not go for engineering. However, I thought that computer engineering is mainly about the hardware, not the software. And I preferred the software. I thought it is an evolving field in Egypt, especially that we don't have the required digital transformation to cope with the rest of the countries like Europe and USA. And the developed countries like Egypt needs this. This is why I went for computer science.
أحلم بالدنيا اللي ما فيش فيها كره وغل، الشمس بتطلع فيها تنور قلب الكل.
الحب يكون هو لغتها والناس تستمتع بحياتها، والخير يزيد ويفيض ويغطي حدود الأرض. I dream a world where no one hates or holds a grudge. La force tu e una fortissima allora,
dove si vive per l'amore che riempie il tempo di colore.
любить и жить то, что дается свыше нам.
نحلم بالدنيا اللي يعيش فيها ناس في سلام، ناس يفكروا في المستقبل يشوفوا القدام.
الحلم بيلمع بعيونهم، مو فارقة لونهم ولا دينهم،
بس قابلين كل اختلافاتهم عايشين مع بعض.
أحلم بمكان الحب بيطرح فيه ويملى، نحلم بمكان في كل اللي احنا بنتمناه،
وما نتحججش بأي ظروف، ونعيش من غير إحساس الخوف، مع عالم واحد كل الناس بتعيش جواه.
I dream of a world where love stays everything we do. I dream of a world where everything we hope comes true.
no obstacles will stand our way, no doubt or fear to chase away. One world that does not think in terms of me and you. De braços dados e brilho em cada olhar, sorrindo juntos nós podemos ir além. Nungam ko sang sang e bayo, mundo tanta sensação, novo mundo orientado para o bem.
كلنا جايين من نفس الأب ونفس الأم،
من حواء ومن آدم من الآخر نفس الدم، هي حقيقة ولازم نرضى.
كلنا راكبين مركب واحدة،
أكيد رايحين نوصل مع بعض البر أمان.
ख्वाबिक दुनिया का जाऊं चैन हो अमन, हर किसी का कल खिला हो जैसे महका चमन. Tulivyoshikana siku za kale, kwa nini tena tutenganishwe? Natamani dunia yaliyo na umoja.
I dream of a world where love stays everything we do. I dream of a world where everything we hope comes true.
No
شباب العالم جاي من كل مكان في الكون علشان مستقبل أجيال، مستقبل أجيال يبعت للدنيا بحالها رسالة خير وسلام هنا من أرض الأمان،
من أرض السلام
من أرض السلام.
What were your plans for the future when you chose computer science as your major field of study?
When I chose, I didn't have anything in mind, anything specific. Every year that passed, I changed my mindset, I changed my goals. However, it's always been about working in a corporate, leading people, because I've always been a leader. And I've always thought I need to run something myself when I grow up. Like, I need to run my own startup, my own business. When I
Okay,
grow up.
right. Talking about startups, you told me that when you first graduated, you worked in startups, then you moved to a multinational company. Tell me about the startups period. What did you do, and how did you benefit from your work in startup?
I think that it's a very crucial time. And everyone that's a fresh graduate should experience working in a startup, because you gain so much knowledge. Because the main difference between a startup and a multinational or a corporate is that in a startup there's a limited amount of employees, a limited number, and you have to work many things. You don't have to work in a specific point or a specific job or a specific job description. You work many roles to achieve the success of the startup, and you also need to work mainly extra hours. However, in the corporate, you are mainly dedicated to a specific point, a specific job role. So startups expose you to a great deal of knowledge, a great deal of responsibility. And I think everyone should have this experience.
Just mentioned that your plan when you majored in business informatics or informatics and computer science, your plan was to have your own project and become an entrepreneur.
Exactly.
Tell me more about entrepreneurship and its importance to the youth, in your opinion.
In my university, and I think this should be taught to all the students in all the universities, and not only for informatics and computer science, but for all other fields like engineering, economics, business. They need to study entrepreneurship. I studied it. I learned how to build your startup, how to think out of the box, how to become an entrepreneur, how to have your own business. And it's very encouraging, and I think it's very important, because many people have amazing ideas, but they don't know how to apply it, and they don't have the how to do. They don't have the knowledge. How do I grow my business? How do I grow this idea? How do I get out of the box? How do I get out of the employment and the red tape and the bureaucracy, the routine jobs? Like, people need to know how to work their ideas and how to achieve their dreams. So entrepreneurship is a core course that need to be taught in all the universities and all the majors, all the fields.
Right. If you decide to become an entrepreneur and you have your own project, what field would you like to work in?
My main thoughts, first of all, in my field, computer science, running a software company, running an IT outsourcing company, like developing a new application, a new product, and running a startup over it, or otherwise are thinking about the business. The business field is awesome. The commercial stuff, like running a commercial business, a marketing agency, these fields are quite interesting.
What about the IT outsourcing that you mentioned?
Yeah, so a lot of startups that I see, and I actually worked at an IT outsourcing company. So mainly what they do, they find they land big customers like multinational corporates and people that need a lot of employees from Egypt, from some faraway countries. They would like to explore new mines. So they target people from all around the world. So they can't hire them directly because they are in another country and it's not as easy. So instead of hiring remote engineers or remote employees, they reach out to an IT outsourcing company. They tell them their requirements. We need like someone who can do 1, 2, 3 and do specific things. And they search for the people that can do this, and they hire them, and everyone benefits because you are in Egypt and you work in a corporate in another country. So it gives you a wide experience, and it's an interesting job. So you can help other people find jobs, and you gain money and gain connections at the same time. So it's very interesting.
So those people work online mainly, or they just travel to these places?
Mainly online. Like some corporates, for instance, WHO, the World Health Organization, they mainly need outsourced people to work in the IT department. And
They work online?
no, they work on premise. However, they are outsourced. They are not directly employed because they cannot afford to hire so many people as a full-time
Employees.
alongside with the other employees that they have. So they mainly prefer to go to an IT outsourcing company.
Your current job, you work in a multinational company. Tell me about your current work.
Well, I'm working as a cloud engineer. It's mainly about the infrastructure and the network and the storage and the virtualization in the cloud. In my opinion, cloud computing, business intelligence, the data, to be generic here, I don't want to like specify something. The data, the cloud, the AI and the machine learning are the most required jobs in the field and in the market. They are very important. That's why I'd like to encourage anyone in this field to go for cloud, data, AI, automation, business intelligence. Go for this.
Yeah.
The market needs you.
Right. Abdurrahman, you also have special interest in community service. Tell me about your work in community service.
Starting from the university, I've been running clubs as a president and the vice president, multiple clubs, but it's mainly about learning community. Like it's not like a fun club or like go for trips and something. No, it's learning clubs. I've always participated during the university in these clubs, and even after the university, I started going for like some certifications to become a trainer, and I've given many sessions in the company that I work for now, and before it, many sessions to different communities. So I've always liked teaching people. However, like I was offered to be
You
a
do it
teaching
as a
assistant.
community service.
I was offered to be a
Yes.
teaching assistant actually, but I never went for it because I never liked the academic field is good, but it's like you're caged inside the university.
Restrictions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're restricted. It's not like you can go into the market. You can't get a full-time job in the market and a full-time job or even a part-time job in the university. You need to choose. It's very hard if you can do this, the both.
Right, and how are you able to manage your time between the community service and your full-time work? Of course, in a multinational company, I think it takes a lot of your time.
Technology made everything easy. So mainly now, like back then, I had to do everything face-to-face. I had to give the sessions face-to-face in lecture halls, in public
Now
places.
you work online,
Yeah.
you teach online.
Exactly. So
Great.
everything is facilitated by online tools. So you can have your meetings online. Everyone can reach you out more easily online. So I give all my sessions and I participate in the community services online. It's
And how do you assess teaching online and education online?
feedback. Feedback. So at the end of any session that I give or anyone gives online, there's either a survey or a feedback, or anyone can reach out to you if he doesn't understand anything that you're saying or a specific thing. So feedback is very important.
But do you think that education online is as beneficial as face-to-face teaching and education?
Well, this is a very good question because there are contradicting opinions
About
and,
education online?
Exactly. So some people think that either education online or working online is more productive. I agree with the part of the working from home and working remotely. It's
It's very
extremely
productive. Yeah.
It's more productive than going to the company. However, education, I believe that the human interaction
Is
and the
important.
face-to-face interaction is very important.
Yeah.
Because if you're at home, you can just wake up and attend a meeting in your bedroom. You're not paying attention. You have
You're easily distracted
exactly,
by anything
you have
around you. It's
too
not
many
like being in a
distractions.
classroom.
Exactly. However, in a classroom, you are obliged to participate with your colleagues, with your tutor, and you can understand more if you're face-to-face.
Talking about youth in general, how do you think we can empower youth? What's important to empower youth?
Empowering education, giving people more opportunities to learn things that they actually love, not restricting people to work based on their grades. So if the students have the opportunity to study anything that they want without getting restricted by any grades, everyone can work what he wants, everyone can achieve himself. So I believe that taking care of education and empowering education is the main key to empowering youth, giving them opportunities. So yeah, it's mainly, it's all about education.
Right. What message would you like to give to the youth from your place here?
study hard, work hard, stop playing, because I've played for so long, and I really regret it. Everyone regrets it. Don't waste your time. Like, don't waste your time doing trivial stuff. Of course, you need to have some fun. You need to have your fun. However, you need to work hard in order to achieve something. Nothing comes easy.
Yeah.
So everyone should work hard.
Yeah, okay. You told me that you had some hobbies like sports or games. Tell me more about your hobbies.
Well, I've always been a computer geek, so my main hobby is playing online games, PC gaming. Starting from when I was like 8 years old, I was obsessed with computer games. And of course, when I grew up, it evolved to online gaming, interacting with people from other countries, playing online games, playing PlayStation, even online. Yeah, you can interact with anyone in any spot in the world. So it's very interesting to make connections all around the world using gaming.
Of course, beneficial. What did you learn out of playing games at a very early age, computer games and so on, at 8 years old age?
Well, you're exposed to different knowledge, different cultures. Well, if you're old and you're interacting with people from other countries, you get to learn about their culture, their habits, what they do, how do they interact with each other, their traits, how they communicate. You learn so much about their culture. So it's very good for culture exchange. And when I was a kid, of course, like a lot of studies state that playing online games, it increases your IQ, your intelligence.
Yeah.
So you're becoming more intelligent in a young age.
You become witty and responsive and
Exactly.
more responsive, right? Talking about cultural exchange, we would like to talk about youth gatherings and youth conferences. You've seen a lot of youth conferences being held here in Egypt, and the Egyptian leadership was giving great attention to youth conferences in specific and the International Youth Forum. How did you follow these forums, and how do you see the importance of youth gatherings in strengthening ties among youth, in exchanging ideas, creating a bond among youth from different cultures?
Well, speaking from a personal experience, attending the World Youth Forum at 2019, it was awesome. Getting to know many students from all around the world, and actually this is not like gaming. You're actually interacting with students from all around the world. It's very interesting. They get to know about Egypt, holding these conferences in Egypt. People always hear about Egypt. Like Egypt is well known for their reputation all around the world, but actually getting the chance to come and visit Egypt for this is a very, very good exposure for us. And also, I've personally invited some of the students abroad, so I got to meet people that I've never met before from my online PC gamers and online colleagues in games. So I actually got the chance to meet them in person because of this WIF, because everyone can apply from any part of the world. So I sent the link, people applied, and they got accepted. So it's awesome.
Right. Well, I would like to thank you very much for joining us, Abdurrahman Al Muwallad, graduate of Informatics and Computer Science. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Dear viewers, that brings us to the end of this edition of Today's Youth. Don't forget to join us next week, same time. Till then, it's goodbye.